Part of the everyday is cleaning the kitchen. Now this is different from the deep cleaning that I spoke about earlier this week when I talked about cleaning the kitchen and the pantry and that being a focus day within the Lady of the House method. And of course I like to have each day with its own task, but every single day we have the everyday list, which is a list of 6 things that one would do to have her home run smoothly. So today's focus is cleaning the kitchen. Now, when I say clean the kitchen, I'm not just speaking about washing the dishes and wiping down the counters. There is a little bit more that goes into this, but of course, doing those 2 things really does set you up for success when you walk back into the kitchen, just feeling as if it's a place that you want to cook in, that you want to be in, and a lot less overwhelm for you. So what I also mean by cleaning the kitchen, and I would really encourage you to at least do this once a day to make sure that all the dishes have been done at some point in the day and that the counters have been cleaned. I say this because we can allow things to pile up, and while some of us are really on top of this and we like to clean as we go, which I will talk about in a minute here, but sometimes we don't have the luxury of being able to spend that amount of time within the kitchen to clean up after ourselves or our families or whatever the case may be. And I want you to know that I am not here to judge you for that. And neither is Lady. She's not going to judge you for it either. She's just very concerned about those that are outside right now. Hey, I am not going to judge you for if you go to bed with a clean kitchen or not, okay? I know that some of us feel so much shame if we go to bed with a messy kitchen or if it's not perfectly put back in order, but I've been there many times, and through different seasons I find that it's been easier than other times to do just that, to make sure that my kitchen is put to bed, that it's clean, and I can walk out to a nice clean kitchen. I'm in a season right now where it's a little bit more difficult because I have children that also like to, make themselves things. Sometimes they even get up in the middle of the night and I have to come out here because I'm hearing a ruckus and, tell everyone they need to go back to bed. But of course, I don't always hear things, and sometimes I do as much as I can and then I will come back the next morning, and I am one that has so much more energy in the morning, and I don't mind getting the kitchen put back in order after breakfast or even before I make breakfast, because it's hard to come in here and want to make breakfast in a kitchen that's messy. I just don't want to do that. So anyway, all of that being said, I just want you to know that if you stay on top of this every day and you don't let this go on for days and days, you won't feel the kind of overwhelm that some feel by allowing that to happen. So that's why I say at least at one point in the day, make sure that you clean the kitchen. I have spoken about this a little bit in the last video that I do like to have a clean kitchen at the beginning of the day, meaning even if it's just after breakfast, cleaning it up. That way, every time I walk back through here, I'm not feeling overwhelmed. But that's just me. It could be different for everyone, and your season of life would look different from my season of life possibly. And so our energy levels also look different, and so on. I just really want to encourage you to clean your kitchen every day. So by that, I mean you are scrubbing out your sink, you are washing the dishes, obviously, whether you wash them by hand or if you load them in the dishwasher. Whatever you like to do, you're the lady of the house, and that is completely up to you. And then also just replacing things that need to be, like right now I have a roll of paper towels that needs to be replaced, which I just noticed that, but it gives you the opportunity to come into your kitchen to reassess everything, see what needs to be done. This could also be a great time for you to just write those things on your list that you might need when you go to the grocery store at some point during the week. And then also to switch out your washcloth if you have one, which is what I really love to use to wipe down all of the counters. I like to use a washcloth as opposed to a sponge, but I do like to use a sponge when I wash my dishes. So everyone is different when it comes to that. I know that I have an aunt that she just does not understand the sponge or why anybody wants to use it. She likes to use a washcloth. But I find, even though I grew up using a washcloth for dishes, I find that it's much easier for me to wash my dishes with a sponge than it is a washcloth. But anyway. And then of course the washcloth has more coverage when you're talking about a counter, so that's just me personally why I prefer that. So switching that out, I like to just have a stack of those, and I switch it out every single day. And then also the hand towel. Switching out your hand towel is just a must for me. So many hands are touching that throughout the day. Sometimes they use it for things that they shouldn't, but it's just one of those things that I like to have on hand. And then I do have a little drawer over here that I like to roll my hand towels in, and it just makes it really simple to put them away and then to open it up and take a new one out. So this is really supposed to be a quick clean of the kitchen. It's not something that should take a lot of time. And the way that you may go about doing this may look different from another lady of the house. For myself, I do like to gather all the dishes and run a small sink full of hot soapy water, and that just makes it so simple to wash them. Now mind you, if I only have a couple of dishes, I might just, wash the dishes quickly in the sink without running a little sink full of soapy water, but it really does save on the water to do this. And I also find that I just don't run the water as much if I do this. So anyway, doing that, collecting all the dishes, and then you could use that time to wipe down the counters. I go between wiping them down as I'm putting the dirty dishes in the sink and just collecting things, and then doing it after I've washed all the dishes. It really just depends. I'm not going to say one way is better than another, but I will say that I feel better if I've wiped the counters down first after I've collected everything, because then I turn around after doing all of those dishes and there's nothing left for me to do. So it's just kind of like a mind thing there, but really it all takes about the same amount of time. So in whatever order you choose to do it, that's completely up to you. You are the lady of the house. And before I forget, to me, part of the kitchen is also the kitchen nook if you have one. And so you may have a kitchen table. This would be a great time to wipe that down as well. And these places can become dumping grounds, right? And this is part of cleaning the kitchen every day, is that you would make sure that these spaces and these countertops, these surfaces are taken care of, because if we don't take care of them every day, and while you can lump this in with tidying the home, it's just part of making sure that everyone recognizes that these spaces they serve a purpose, right? They serve a purpose to eat at, they serve a purpose to cook in. And if you allow a lot of stuff just to be piled in there without dealing with it at some point in the day, then everybody starts to think that, oh, okay, we don't really care much about having this space clean, so we're going to leave all of our stuff here. And I'm not saying that, from time to time you won't leave certain things there, but really try to make sure that these spaces are treated with care. And part of that is making sure that you handle these spaces at least once a day. But really for myself, I feel like it's a continuous thing throughout the day. I don't have a specific time that I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is the time that I'm going to tidy, or that it's just something that I'm constantly doing. So if you can condition your own mind and your family members to know that throughout the day, as we see things that we can put away, we will, and that way it never becomes so overwhelming that we get frustrated about it. So that's one of those areas that I really like to handle first thing in the morning. I will put things where they need to go. I know that right now I've been trying to take out some dishes from the kitchen because we're going to be moving, and so I'm selecting the dishes that I'm going to be taking with me, and I need to make sure that that space isn't going to be the place that I'm just going to house everything. For a time, I put it there just so that I could select the things that I needed, but I'm going to now put it where I know that, okay, all of this stuff is going to be moved out. So we're going to not allow the table to be overrun with these things. Also, school is starting. We had some school supplies come in the mail. And so just because, they were opened right there at the table, they don't need to remain there. The one whose school supplies they can take them with them, in their room, or put them in their backpacks, whatever they need to do. That's not to say that we can't live within our homes and we can't use the spaces to do different things, but remember that every single day, being able to put things back where they go, it will save you so much time and so much energy, instead of it just becoming overrun with stuff because you've neglected these spaces for days and days. Then it's understandable why so many women, if this is what they end up doing, why so many ladies of the house feel overwhelmed day in, day out, if they're not making this a habit to clean their kitchen, to clean the table, the kitchen nook every single day, and putting things back where they go. Having a nice little reset of this space really does help and makes all the difference. In the Lady of the House method, part of the everyday is to clean the kitchen. And there's a reason this is such an important habit. The kitchen is the heart of the home. It's where meals begin, where family gathers, and for most of us, it's a space we're in the most. That's why it's worth keeping it organized, clutter-free, and ready for use every single day. This doesn't mean deep cleaning every morning. It's about doing the basics well. Washing the dishes, hopefully right after breakfast, and making sure the counters are clean and clear. If you have a busy day, remember, good enough is good enough. Even a quick tidy can change the feel of your whole home. There's nothing like walking back into a kitchen that invites you to start cooking without roadblocks like a sink full of dishes or cluttered counters. One of the simplest ways to make this happen is to keep your counters clear and limit what you leave out. It makes cleanup quick and effortless. If you have a kitchen nook or table, give it the same care. Wipe it down, tuck in the chairs, maybe add a cheerful floral arrangement, even if it's not real. And don't let the table or counters become a dumping ground for mail, school supplies, or random clutter. I'm not saying you can't set things there temporarily, but be intentional about clearing them away every day. Think about how you want to feel when you walk back into your kitchen later. If the space is clear, fresh, and welcoming, you'll feel inspired to use it. It may seem like a small thing, but keeping a clean kitchen is everything. A huge part of the everyday when it comes to cleaning the kitchen is to clean as you go. One of the best habits you can develop in the kitchen is to clean as you go. It sounds simple, but it can completely change the way your kitchen looks and how you feel at the end of the day. Here's what it looks like in action. While you're making breakfast, wash the mixing bowl before you move on. If you're waiting for the coffee to brew, take a moment to wipe the counters. When dinner is simmering, load the dishwasher with whatever you've already used. By tackling little bits of cleaning as you work, you avoid letting dishes pile up and counters disappear under clutter. Instead of facing a mountain of mess at the end of the day, When your energy is gone, you'll just have a few finishing touches to take care of. This habit also makes cooking more enjoyable. A clear counter gives you space to work, and a tidy sink means you're not battling chaos while trying to prepare a meal. Think of it as a gift to your future self, the you who will walk into the kitchen later and see a space that's calm, ready, and welcoming instead of overwhelming. Clean as you go, and you'll find that end of the day kitchen reset is quick, easy, and maybe even a little satisfying.
Welcome to Inspired by Nikki. Today's episode, fishing.
That's it?
What do you want me to say? Take two. Sure.